This is going to be my first update for Pan That Palette for 2017, and in case you guys have not seen the intro video, I will go ahead and link that down in the description box, but essentially I did pick out two palettes again this year. So the first one is my Urban Decay Naked palette. I will go ahead and insert my progress from last month right now. So this is what my palette looks like at the beginning of this challenge. And this is what my palette looks like after 1 month of use. I know it's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but I have kind of dabbled around in almost everything. I think I have actually touched everything in this palette. Even Half-Baked, and I don't even like gold. I even used Half-Baked. I did an eye look, and I thought it turned out pretty cool. I did it with one of the shadows from the other palette, so when I talk about that other palette, then I will show the look that I did with the gold shade, but I do have a little bit more pan showing in Virgin, just a little bit. I'm trying not to use this one. I'm trying to save it for later on in the year because I do have another cream shade in my other palette, but I only have two light champagne kind of ivory sort of tones, so I kind of want to save them and use them sparingly. I did reach for this one just a little bit, but I do have a shadow in my project pan that has an eyeshadow that's almost identical to Sin right here, so I didn't reach for that one nearly as much as I could have. The pan in Naked is just a little bit bigger. I generally reach for that one more times than not. I really enjoy Sidecar. Using this palette recently has definitely sparked a newfound love for Sidecar. I loved it before, but when I first had this palette, I did not like Sidecar. I didn't even touch it for like the first couple months because I was scared of it. I thought it would be way too gold. Buck is so insanely tightly packed in my palette that you can barely even see that there is a difference. Like I said, I did use Half-Baked a couple times. Smog, I did knock my palette upside down and I have a little nick in Smog right there, and then there's a nick up at the top of Dark Horse too, but I did use these a couple times. I've been trying to use these darker shades. Like I mentioned before, I only want to hit pan on Half-Baked, Dark Horse, and this purple one here, which is Hustle. I wish Toasted would come out a little bit more pink on my skin tone, but it looks kind of like a, I don't know how to describe it. It looks kind of like a bronzy, I have some swatches from a video that I just did, but that right there, that is Toasted. It just looks like a bronze to me with like a slight pink shift to it. So I wish it was a little bit more pink. Maybe if I switched up the base that I use underneath that. This purple one here, Hustle, just looks like a muddy mess on my eyes. Both of these do actually. Hustle and Toasted both do, but I'm just trying to push through it as much as I can. I use Creep to kind of deepen up along the lash line if I'm not doing a really intense liquid liner like I have on today, and I think I used Gunmetal just once this past month. I think I used it in the crease of one of my eye looks, so I don't know, not very much progress on this at all. I have been focusing on some other products. I just got done filming a video talking about all of these cream shadows that I just got from Pur Cosmetics. I had 6 of them, so I've been testing these out on their own. I had an eyeshadow palette here from Givenchy that I was trying out as well, so I definitely had to play with those products by themselves and not mix in other items like my Naked palette, because you know, I need to have a review on those products alone specifically by themselves and mixed in with other things. So I was kind of playing around with other items this past January, so hopefully I have my fingers crossed for February that I can make a little bit more progress on this, maybe expand the pan in something. I think the only two that I would even have a slight possibility of hitting pan on in the distant future would be Sidecar right here or Gunmetal. So I don't know, not very much progress on this guy at all, but you know, at least there's some dips forming, and I've been forcing myself to use some of these darker tones even though I really just don't want to, but I feel like having a deeper eye look sometimes looks better. The other palette, since I'm only trying to hit pan on 3 of those shades by the end of the year, I did add in a second palette to kind of substitute some of the shadows. So I added in the Urban Decay Feminine palette, and I'll go ahead and insert last month's intro video progress point right here. So this is what the Feminine palette looks like at the intro. This is what my Feminine palette looks like after 1 month of use. So I did expand the pan a little bit in Skimp. I really like that tone. The shade that I used with the gold out of the Naked palette was actually Hijack down here. I thought it turned out really pretty. I'll insert like a little clip of that eye look off to the side there. It was actually Lena7623 that said that those two in combination together would actually look really pretty, and I completely agree. I thought it turned out really nice. I did have another combination of Bordello right here and AC/DC. It looks like there's hard pan on there, and it's not hard pan, it's just from using them wet. They are really sheer on their own, even if I have like a tacky base down. So I'll insert that look that I did with these two off to the side as well. I thought it was fun, playful, not something that I would do on an everyday basis, but it's kind of fun to, you know, pull a colored look every now and then. I think I did use Lost, this kind of like greenish brown shade, a couple times, but it wasn't, you know, any specific looks. I was kind of just dabbling around with all of the shadows out of both palettes and trying to mix and match where I could. So not a ton of progress out of these two for the past month of January, but I'm hoping that since I don't have other items that I need to be using on a consistent basis to build up an opinion on them, hopefully I can focus a little bit more on these guys for next month, and maybe I'll have a little bit more progress, I hope. Anyway, that was everything that I have for the first update, kind of short and sweet, to the point, I hope. So let me know if you guys have any creative ideas on some combinations that I could come up with out of these two palettes, and that's it. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.